She was once the most disliked woman in Britain, the so-called villain in the world's most famous love triangle. Today, she wears a crown. She walks beside the King of England. And behind palace doors, she's said to be one of the most influential figures in the modern monarchy. So, how did Queen Camilla go from public enemy number one to the quiet architect of King Charles's reign? This is the story of a woman who didn't fight her way to power with loud headlines but with patience, resilience, and the art of staying in the shadows until the time was right. Before she was queen, before she was even Duchess of Cornwall, Camilla Shand was a young woman from a respectable upper-class family in Britain. She was confident, outgoing, and loved the countryside. In the early 1970s, she met a young Prince Charles at a polo match. There's a famous anecdote about their first meeting. Camilla supposedly joked, "My great-grandmother was your great-great-grandfather's mistress, so how about it?" Whether that's true or not, one thing is clear. They hit it off instantly. But timing is everything, and the timing wasn't right. Charles was serving in the Royal Navy, and while he was away, Camilla married her longtime boyfriend, Andrew Parker Bowles. Charles moved on, at least in public. Fast forward to the 1980s. Prince Charles had married Lady Diana Spencer in what was called the wedding of the century. It was a fairy tale on the surface, but behind the scenes, things were more complicated. Charles and Camilla had remained friends, very close friends. And soon, that friendship became the center of one of the biggest royal scandals in history. In the early 1990s, details of Charles and Camilla's relationship came out, including the infamous Camillagate phone call, where private and intimate conversations between them were leaked to the press. The public reaction: outrage. Diana was the people's princess, beautiful, compassionate, and adored. Camilla became the other woman, painted by tabloids as manipulative and calculating. By the mid-90s, the British press had all but declared war on Camilla. Polls showed overwhelming disapproval. Some surveys suggested over 80% of the public didn't want to see her anywhere near the throne. She avoided the spotlight. No sit-down interviews. No photo ops to explain her side. She let the storm rage on quietly, waiting for the public's emotions to cool. But the death of Princess Diana in 1997 changed everything. The nation was in mourning, and the idea of Camilla as Charles's partner became even more controversial. Buckingham Palace knew they had to tread carefully. It would take years for Camilla to even be partially accepted. The strategy was slow and deliberate. Keep Camilla almost invisible. She was rarely photographed with Charles at public events in the late 90s. Gradually introduce her to royal duties. She started appearing at charity events, not glamorous red carpets, but causes with real impact, like literacy programs and domestic abuse prevention. Show consistency. No scandals, no drama, no outbursts. Camilla projected a stable, relatable image. By 2005, the public's resistance had softened enough for Charles and Camilla to marry. Still, Queen Elizabeth made a careful choice with titles. Camilla became the Duchess of Cornwall, not Princess of Wales, out of respect for Diana's memory. From that point on, Camilla seemed to understand exactly what her role needed to be. Not flashy, not demanding, but dependable. She committed herself to charitable work. She supported causes like osteoporosis awareness, inspired by her own mother's illness, and became a passionate advocate for reading, visiting schools and libraries regularly. Royal watchers noticed something else. She had a calming influence on Charles. In public, he seemed more relaxed, more approachable, and even more humorous when she was by his side. And while other members of the royal family were caught up in high-profile controversies, Camilla stayed quietly out of trouble. Over time, the public began to see her less as the other woman and more as a hard-working royal consort, while her public image was transforming. Something else was happening, something less visible but arguably more significant. Camilla was becoming one of Charles's most trusted advisors. Insiders claim she often sits in on important meetings, offers her opinion on speeches, and acts as a sounding board for big decisions. She reportedly helped push for a slightly less rigid, more approachable style in the monarchy, encouraging Charles to connect with people in a warmer, more personal way. It's important to note, Camilla is not a headline chaser. She doesn't seek to overshadow the king or compete for attention. Her power is quiet. It's in the conversations no one sees, the subtle shifts in Charles's style, and the way she smooths over tensions both inside and outside the family. When Queen Elizabeth II passed away in 2022, Charles became king, and Camilla officially became queen consort. It was the final step in her decades-long transformation. What's remarkable is that the announcement barely caused controversy. 20 years earlier, the idea of Queen Camilla would have been unthinkable. But by then, she had built a reputation as reliable, committed, and crucially drama-free. At the coronation in 2023, the cameras captured a woman who looked completely at ease in her role. For a public figure once defined by scandal, it was a remarkable image shift. In recent months, King Charles's health has become a topic of public concern. And during these times, Camilla has stepped up in a way that's been impossible to ignore. She has taken on more royal engagements, represented the crown at high-profile events, and maintained a steady presence, projecting stability when the monarchy most needs it. This visibility has further cemented her position as a key figure, not just beside the king, but in the monarchy itself. When the day comes that Prince William ascends the throne, Camilla's title will likely change to Queen Dowager, the widow of the late king, but that doesn't mean her influence will disappear. If her relationship with William and Catherine remains strong, she could act as a behind-the-scenes advisor for years to come, offering guidance drawn from decades of royal experience. Some royal commentators even suggest she might be instrumental in smoothing the monarchy's transition into a more modern, streamlined institution. Camilla's story is more than just royal gossip. It's a masterclass in patience, resilience, and the long game of public image. She didn't try to win the public over with flashy interviews or tearful tell-alls. She let her work and her consistency speak for her. She weathered years of relentless criticism, and instead of trying to fight every headline, she waited until the public got used to her. It's not a fairy tale transformation, and not everyone is convinced, but it's proof that reputations can change. Even in the most unforgiving spotlight, she was once the most disliked woman in Britain, the so-called villain in a royal love triangle. Today, she's one of the monarchy's most trusted figures, a queen with quiet influence over the king himself. But is this transformation a genuine reflection of who Camilla really is, or one of the most masterful PR turnarounds in royal history? What do you think?